We appear on the rocky shores of Miramar for game number 4, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And as you can see from the leaderboard, Team Feinotto is winning. And by Team Feinotto, of course, I mean Squeaky and co, who are hosting the Pro Scrims today. Let's get cracking then with our second half of today's Pro Scrims. Team Kitchen are in the lead at the moment, doing incredibly well on air angle. Let's see if they can keep the momentum up as we move into Miramar. 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock plane path. As we check into game number 4. We're getting a couple of hydrates in chat. Don't you worry. I'm not just hydrating with water. I've got delicious, delicious tea. So right now the hydration is as British as it comes. And I assure you, it is most definitely delightful. In fact, let's have a sip now. Ah, that's ASMR for my tongue. Righty-ho. What have we got going here? Are Faygo and EXhalatioN going to have a little bit of a tussle? I feel like the answer to that is no. I mean, there's a vehicle there. Daboom's very much got it. Is Shro going to take the compound instead then? Looks like he might. EXhalatioN might just grab the vehicle and run. Circle, very happy for Vorpal Swords. Valadelma and FaZe Clan in and around Chumacera are going to be pleased with that as well. All the teams that are different shades of yellow appear to be landing together. All we need is NaVi and After All to also be there or thereabouts. And we'd complete the full house, but otherwise things are looking okay. The fellas will be able to gatekeep Monte Nuevo, but I feel like they are more likely to move down to one of these compounds here than they are to stay on the edge and gatekeep. It is, of course, a completely legitimate strategy to try and get that kill count up. But when the downside is if you lose a fight, you get no placement points, of course, it's a much, much bigger risk for teams in this early stage of the game. Toxic players down the south side. We haven't spoken about them too much on air angle. They'll be looking to have a few big games, I am sure, on Miramar. And they're relatively well poised, actually, to get a decent compound at the beginning here. This circle, you can't quite discount the southern island because people can still rotate on it. People might actually end up going Los Higos or whatever. So you can't say, oh, 40% of it's unplayable. It's like, well, it is playable. It's just undesirable. It's not exactly prime real estate. Otherwise, people are very well behaved. Oh God, people telling dad jokes in chat now. What's going on? Saga promoting this outlandish behavior. Not too sure about that. 3 minutes 30, relatively early. And Entropiq are getting the hell out of Dodge. Let's talk about this for a second. They want to be one of the teams that have choice of exactly where to go. They should know that FaZe Clan are in and around Chumacera, so they will either choose to immediately backfill or go around to avoid FaZe Clan and try and get one of the more central compounds. Let's wait and see. They're in Chumacera. They're making a lot of noise, basically saying to FaZe Clan, look, if you're still here... Oh, Dragon Pump with honking the horn. I think he's saying, look, I'm getting out of here. Don't worry about it. Entropiq backfilling for FaZe Clan. Dragon Pump out of the way safely. The fellas indeed are moving south of Monte Nuevo. They do not want to be dealing with gatekeeping on the edge where they can get a good position center. Rustamar looking like he has a lovely bit of real estate. God, imagine living there. What if they have good internet? I feel like that would be important. Twisted Minds also popping in from the northeast. But I don't think they're going as deep. Let's see how far they're willing to go here. Oh, the crate's on the ground, I beg your pardon. Spyro may have seen that. Smoke's clearing. Our Twisted Mind's going to grab it. I feel like they should see it. There we go. Oh, Mach 14 as well. And on Miramar, that's delightful. Spyro's going to be so happy with that. So unbelievably happy. Oh, dope. Sora and Entropiq by the looks of things. Wow, the fella's absolutely nailing Lucarux there, forcing him back in a big, big way. Multiple gunshots at once. I'm pretty sure Lucarux is resable here. Beautiful shots, and the fellas will be able to buy themselves a little bit of time. They've got a split going on where they have compounds both on the higher side of this hill as well as on the low ground. So they can choose how they want to rotate later as long as they don't get crashed anytime soon. They shouldn't do in phase 1, to be honest. After ult going via the island. So Klim is in Los Higos right now. Mad's on the north side. I doubt they'd be looking for boats to cross or anything like that, so I feel like they're going to go all the way around if needs be. There is actually a boat there available to them, but once you get onto the beach, you're just so unbelievably in the open. Not the kind of fight you necessarily want to take. Vorpal Swords unexpectedly coming up against FaZe Clan super early on. Kid gets a knock onto Gustav. I think Gustav and Fex were coming up the hill and maybe just walked into them a little bit. Gustav is going to be left as a sacrifice to the gods. Lucarux actually stealing that from Vorpal Swords. So Entropiq will get that point on the board. Vorpal Swords did the work, but don't get the points. Fex is going to have to move back. 762 and Dragon Pump. We've got this compound on the low ground here, which Entropiq are eyeing up. Evas has just been bolted at. Do you guys want to reconsider? They are absolutely reconsidering. Will QP stay here for a second and try and shoot? No, they're going back. They've decided safety is a good idea. Entropiq FaZe Clan fight is not going to happen. What about a NaVi solo fight? How about that? Would you like that for dessert, ladies and gentlemen? Let's find out. Example, enjoying driving a bit too much at the moment. Bombilovo super close, lying in wait. Rest of the squad on the other side. Looks like NaVi have chosen not to press. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. WinOrDie and EXhalatioN on the same road. Looks like iZoom is going to give them a little bit of space. And Extens is being forced to peel off from the rest of his team as a result. Which is fair enough. A little bit more of a safe approach. Alia and Melman are fine to just sort of... I don't know what the plan is here for NaVi. They're staying here as two people, trying maybe to confirm who's here. But let's say they get a knock onto Sayari. Because they're only two in this position, I don't feel like I'm pushing this if I'm NaVi. And we've got someone in a spoiler position as well who can absolutely rain on their parade. If all four of them were here, I can understand getting the knock and going for it. But because they're only a duo and because Julian can see them, oh dear. Right. Well, that changes things considerably, doesn't it? Toxic players ruining all the fun. MTB Esports getting squashed just a little bit by Twisted Minds, who are next door to them. Nail Cop and Control, though, on the high ground should be able to have oversight over this as well. So She Created shouldn't be in that much trouble. Phase 2 is popped, and it looks fairly relaxed west of Chumacera. Team Kitchen, current points leaders, coming across the bridge in Vala del Mar. And they're going to try and launch themselves straight into a compound with decent possibilities of rotating elsewhere in Phase 3. She Created has to decide very quickly between defending and leaving. Oh, I think we heard a couple of bullets there. They weren't very convincing. Squeaky certainly isn't convinced. They take the concretes. Is the rest of MTB going to come in? Oh, She Created's underneath the cliff. So he's vacated a position he couldn't quite get, unfortunately. The vehicle back out. That's okay, though, because Eski's managed to come in and grab Scav. Got the knock as well as the flush. And now Eski is going to be meeting up with She Created as a two-man push. And with She Created doing excellent work like that, headshot onto Daz. MTB are looking very strong right now. Kitchen knew someone was here, but they perhaps didn't realize that the push was going to be this coordinated. She Created stayed quiet, and maybe they disguised their numbers as a result. Making the push still come in. Oh, and Vorpal Swords with the knock onto Page, providing the critical push to allow Control & Co. to finish off the squad here. So getting a little bit of help there, but MTB Esports will eliminate Kitchen and keep a hold of this compound. After all, in the meantime, moving through the fellas. And if they go towards Chumacera, they're going to have Entropiq to deal with as well. The vehicles aren't going to take much more damage, so they will have to stop for a restroom break at some point soon. They've got themselves really just some hills, to be honest, not much else. Toxic players have found question mark. Or I should say Blazor's found them anyway. The rest of the team seem fairly split. Does a lot of damage to Dante and Phil first. But no knocks anywhere. There's April, there's Sond, and there's Julian. So getting caught a little bit split here. Julian not appreciating that. Letting a doozy know. If that vehicle blows up now, a doozy could be in trouble. He gets the first aid off, though. And the smoke train to the rest of the team is going to happen. Is April going to see anything close quarters? Oh, he does. That's going to be good enough. Beautiful barrel spray there. Gets a doozy down. Won't get the flush, but a lot of damage has been done. Where's the rest of the squad? They're in the blue still shooting, so they're not exactly rushing in. Although if they manage to get the knock on Hober as well, this suddenly makes it very awkward for question mark. How short is that nade? Considerably, sadly. Second one could do the job, but a doozy's already up and healing. April's work getting slightly undone. Hober has gone down, though, giving them a second chance. Oh, and so's Dante. This next nade in the right direction to take a doozy out. Managed to get into a position to save Hober. Are we now going to see toxic players move? And it's still just April. Oh, he's in hot dog building while the rest of the squad of question mark are in stables. Looks like Dante, unfortunately, is not going to survive this battle. The other three players, though, will be able to stay alive. And inside this compound, at least, it's a 3v1. Again, Entropiq grabbing one of those as well. And they get another squad in Chumacera. Next zone, more or less a 12 o'clock hard shift here. I can see this being relatively rough. FaZe Clan rotating super early through after all. They're going to continue going as well. They don't care. Dragon Pump just continuing to drive. Getting position. Are they going to stay on top of this hill? Or are they going to go out the other side? If they go down the other side, they've got Faygo right in front of them. They're going to stay on the high ground. They're turning around as well. Oh, they might have to after 762. Getting caught out there by Malloy. Great shooting there with the SLR. Oop. Third party, calm as you like. And to be fair, STARDUST have got hard cover inside that building as well. Why not go for it? And Malloy overextending just a little bit onto FaZe Clan and paying the price instantly. After all, now struggling. They were in the hills, sure. Wait. Oh. When I say struggling, what I mean is... Oh, there's Klim. Yeah, this counts as struggling. Oh me, oh my. This very much counts as struggling. Okay, after all, down to 1. If Klim gets the revive onto... You know what? Klim could get the revive onto Danimon, but it would be a minor miracle. And now we've got all the teams on the edge fighting each other, scrapping for points in case they don't make it in. Team Solo, the latest to do that. Someone managing to get a point off of Entropiq as well. The fellas have got this brick compound. Entropiq are feeling like their situation might be desperate enough to warrant a push. It is. They're wondering if they're all 4 here. They haven't quite got that information yet. Great headshot onto Ruston. Marcubi with the follow-up spray. Beautiful stuff from the barrel. Gets Ruston Mar down. 3 of them still alive. Do they know that it's only 1 player up top? I'm not sure they do at the moment. Michael was killed crossing the road. Flashbangs and sword off. What else do you need? Underarm nades and trading space for time. A little bit of a bathroom break here for Clip. Basically wondering when he's going to leap out and use the shotgun. S12K in hand. WinOrDie, Twisted Minds. Properly at each other's throats right now. It looks like there's a fair bit of third partying going on as well. It's Biestolodge versus Extens by the looks of things. It is a bit of a 1v1. Great Molotov as well. Extens should be able to survive the molly, but will he survive the follow-up is the question. Just about in time. Frag grenade takes him down to 22. Oh dear. Bounces back. And MTB Esports is behind him. Not ideal at all. Biestolodge not exactly happy with that situation there. We're going to stick with this for a moment as Entropiq get eliminated by question mark. MTB pushing in against both of them. She created with the finish there. Extens goes down as well. MTB Esports are going to take that out. But EXhalatioN from up top by the church will go ahead and third party. I can't quite recall how many kills Entropiq ended on, but they took quite a lot of them early game. So we'll keep an eye on that later on. Question mark now up to 6 kills. They've only lost Dante. On the southern edge of the circle, defending against Vorpal Swords right now. But I think Vorpal Swords are more eager to get closer into the center than to fight question mark immediately. Oh, Celtics. Oh, Celtics. That was hairy. And now, actually, he could play spoiler, because look at this. Vard and Diggory are here. They're asking him to play spoiler. They've got 2 more members of Buga up above him, though. Do they realize this? He has no idea. Oh, he does now. T-Bone and Beamy both down. That is huge. Absolutely huge. Celtics goes down, but the damage has been done. And now over the top. We've got Dogs's. We've got Apocalypse. They want to finish off Buga right here, right now. Diggory down. Only Vard. Vard's specialty is 1v4s. As we all know. But is it going to be enough? How do you do this? Vard, how do you do this? How do you even do this? With a little bit of help from Vorpal Swords, but... Oh my god. UgaBuga survive. Dare I say, UgaBuga survive potentially with all 4 alive. I feel like they can pick up Beamy and T-Bone 1 each and get the res up. Might not even need to pick them up. They could just res them there and then. I think they're going to. UgaBuga up to 5 kills with all 4 alive, but they were on the ropes in that fight. Properly on the ropes. Klim has made it outside of blue. Question mark on the southeast side. Vorpal Swords, all 4 alive. How many knocks have Vorpal Swords had this game that have been stolen? I feel like it's been at least 3. They've had a decent game, but they just don't have the points to show for it. Question mark, having some opportunistic shooting from outside in blue. Feel like if they're going to take these kind of fights, they have to be prepared for a little bit of counterfire. UgaBuga correctly guessing that there should be plenty of opportunity to smash him in that vehicle, and question mark are in trouble now. Not that much damage done. No knocks. But they're very much backed into a corner. I think they almost have to rely on Vorpal Swords getting third party from elsewhere. No, they're not going to allow Fate to be taken out of their hands. They are rushing in. Phil First and Hoba going for it. Walking into, unfortunately, or driving into, I should say, a vehicle in the smoke. PWD looking for Phil First outside of the smoke. Kron will come in and finish off. We're waiting for Hoba. We see him. Question mark eliminated. Vorpal Swords officially in the placement points now. Having to deal with Team Solo at the very last second. Came into third party that fight. And they're looking good because further above, we've got UgaBuga. But they're fighting, I think, against FaZe Clan right now. So Team Solo don't exactly have 3 different squads fighting them or anything like that. They can focus on Vorpal Swords at least for a little bit. UgaBuga pushing like this though. FaZe. They lose Vex. They lose Dragon Pump. That's it. Beamy knock, but otherwise, UgaBuga looking good. Up to 7 kills. All 4 of them are alive. All 4? Yes, all 4. Beamy is going to get up. MTB struggling just a little bit, but with a couple of good rotates should be fine. 3 of them and 5 points to their name. I don't really know how Control's moving in from here because EXhalatioN have got the church. Arguably, they're in quite a strong position. Next zone, though, more or less puts them on the edge of it. We'll get them to reevaluate how closely they actually want to be to the edge of zone and whether they choose to move out from the hard cover. Good game sense there from Vorpal Swords, finishing off Team Solo as well. I'm impressed at how quickly they reacted to Sayari inside the Vamos arch as well. That was very, very well done. Booga's coming in here, looking for seconds. What have we got from a leftovers point of view? Not much from this angle. What about Vard? Yes, a little bit more there. Oh, goodness. What a beautiful frag grenade onto Riser. Vard knew what he was doing there. He gets traded out. And Kron actually gets T-Bone as well. That is critical if Vorpal Swords are to stay alive in this game. 1 up and 2 down for Vorpal Swords right now. He has to go for the quick finish and or the quick revive. There's no slow anything at this point. 1 minute and 38 seconds until phase 6 closes. These guys are not out of the blue, so are not in the blue, I should say. So they've got plenty of time to finish off this fight, but the more time that goes on, the better it gets for Buga. End up being just a straight 4v2 once everyone heals and gets their meds up and gets their boosts up and everything. And EXhalatioN very rudely coming in off the side are going to shortcut this entire fight. Kron down, meaning that Riser versus Buga is basically the fight there now. And EXhalatioN will be able to come in and try and mop up. Buga slowing down their advance considerably here in light of the third-party shots. T-Bone will get Vard back up. Riser finally gets taken down by Beamy. That's critical. That means that T-Bone can res without worrying too much. Diggory is covering so that if they chose to push, Diggory would see him before these guys do. So that res was relatively safe in comparison. Beamy's now going to be looking for Shro, who's just casually appeared between him and MTB. Spots him, gets a headshot off, but not enough to get the knock. Nail Cop will do that. And that's Faygo out in fourth. UgaBuga versus MTB up here on the north side. Frag grenades were a good idea, but Beamy just about ran out of the way. Booga of all four. EXhalatioN of all four. MTV have three. How quickly are we going to finish these engagements? She created down one. Good grenade from Vard onto Nail Cop makes it down two. And Control not having the best time here. He's outside of next zone as well. And it looks like if he watches here just a little bit too much, we've got BTM on the horizon. I think Control's heard him now, though. He has indeed. The spray comes out, and BTM is very happy to start running for a bit. Make his location a bit more unpredictable to MTB Esports. Although how unpredictable is it when the grenade can come in and still do that much damage? Really lovely stuff. Now, if that one hit, I would have been impressed. I'll tell you that much. Phase 7, 3 o'clock hard shift moving in. MTB versus Booga versus EXhalatioN. Right now, EXhalatioN appear to be in control. Smokes and casually disengaging our MTB right now. Lots of damage on the edge of the blue zone. Can't be too liberal with his character positioning. And if he walks out of those smokes, he's going to end up being cannon fodder for EXhalatioN unless he has a ridiculous number of them. In fact, that was his last smoke, so we're in trouble now. BTM has spotted him. Salik has spotted him. 32 hit points. Wants to try and push back with the mini. He can't. Spray almost in frustration there as MTB are eliminated. It's a 4v3 now. Booga with 3. Make that 2. EXhalatioN, this is their game to lose. Only the 5 kills so far, but the 10 placement points for the victory will more than make up for this. Diggory and Beamy down. Beamy getting res back up, but what an excellent follow-up frag grenade from Daboom, not giving Vard any time to breathe whatsoever. More utility coming out. Vard's going to have to defend shortly against iZoom, and the headshot seals it for them, going straight up to 8 kills. Our EXhalatioN, they take home the chicken dinner in game number 4. Well played, and congratulations to them. In second place, we have UgaBuga with 12 kills, and MTB will round out our podium with 6.